What's up? My name is Matt, and today we're talking about micro SaaS and why most people fail with micro SaaS. Everybody wants that sweet MRR, that monthly recurring revenue, but they're not sure how to actually go about doing it. Now, this is a SaaS that I built for myself. It already has paying customers, and I want to show you guys that it's all about the strategy involved more so than just building a product and hoping that it works. If that sounds good, smash the like button and let's dive into the computer. So what is it that we're going to do? How do we go about this with a strategy? Okay. First up, before you do anything, before you spend $1 on any tools or services, what you want to do is you want to figure out who your target audience is. If you don't have a target audience, you have nobody to sell to and you have no business. So if you're trying to make this work, then we have to figure out who we're actually going to sell to. There's a product here called Podcastle. This has been around for a couple of years now. It's a larger company, but this is a great example of a micro or regular SaaS, okay? This is basically like a podcasting service or whatever. And what they offer is they bundle together these different tools. Now, I want you to pay attention to that, right? We have a recording studio, and within that, we have AI audio enhancer. Now, keep in mind, okay, a couple of these tools are all the same tool on the back end. So the audio enhancer, voice cloning, that is a separate thing. Interview recording, audio to text, that's all AI. These things are AI driven. Background noise removal, that's one product. You can blur the background, whatever. Audio editor, video editor, AI voices, hosting hub for your podcast, stuff like this. This is a suite of tools, and they're charging money per month, per year for it. So if you think about it in that way, then it's a little bit different than just like, I want to build a SaaS. It's more, I want to build a suite of tools that can help somebody. So if you can reframe that in your mind and then look in your life at what it is that you're good at or what interests you, then you can start figuring out a microservice or a bundle of tools that would help them. A great example in real life that I can give is if you're in a hobby, like if I'm in an RC hobby, there are different tools that are very specific to the hobby. They don't sell the tools for anybody else. It's just for a very specific thing. What you could do within the hobby is you could buy the set of tools. It's a whole suite of tools. Instead of buying each individual one, you get it together. We're doing that in a different way because we're packaging it in a repetitive way, right? Because we're after that sweet MRR, that monthly recurring revenue. So, an example, background noise removal. You can check all this, by the way, in Google and look at what comes up. I'll just show you background, right? Noise removal, music remover. You can remove the background from an image, different things like this. And if you look at what actually comes up, so let's do background noise removal. Sponsored, right? So there's money in the market. Somebody's paying for an ad for an AI noise removal tool. So there's money here. Then we've got Clean Voice. They're a pretty big site. This is who's advertising, a noise reducer, Reddit, whatever. And then we've got some videos. Now look at the age of the videos. 2022, 23, 24. And if we were to look at the views on this, my guess is it's probably pretty decent. Let's see here. 168,000 views. That's pretty good for a year. Not bad. And what is it that all of these results are pointing us to? Well, they're pointing us to little SaaS companies. Okay, noise reducer, right? You could upload it. You could record the audio right in here. They give you a free trial. You get to play with it. But then they also have a paid plan, pay-as-you-go subscription. They do it by minute. It's pretty good. And then that way they're actually covering their costs, because if it's by the minute, then they're actually calculating down, okay, it's 33 cents a minute. Then, their back end cost of running the AI or whatever it is on the back end, maybe it's, a third of that or something. And that's basically their profit. So you can create these tools really easily. And then what you could also do is you could look at open source tools that do this. Now, you have to be very careful with what I'm about to say because it depends on what the licensing is for that tool. Some things it's totally fine, some things it's not. You do not want to steal anybody's stuff, okay? Have to say that. But if you were to look at open source tools for background noise removal, we've got like a GitHub project here. And let's see. So you could actually pull this. This has been going on for, so last commit was a year ago. But this project's been going on for 7 or 8 years. It's a real-time noise suppression plugin. So really what you could do if you're a coder is you could pull this project, you can make some improvements on it, update it, bringing it up to code, check the licensing here. You know, you have to read through this, make sure that it's good to go, make sure that you can use it for commercial purposes, of course. But what you can essentially do is you could start running this on like a DigitalOcean droplet and just hook it up to a front end like this, where basically it's like, here, upload your file. It sends it to the droplet processes it and whatever, and then it spits back to a finished file. And then you do the same thing as they're doing. Pricing, you have hook it up to a Stripe account, and you have a method of metering the time that it takes to process this stuff. So that is a method that works, and I'm showing you a real world example where people are actually doing this. So what would I do if it was me? What's the next step for you? Well, I would implore you to look at your life, and I know that's going to sound really deep, but look at your life and actually figure out what it is that you know the most about, because you don't want to jump into a niche that you know absolutely nothing about. Let's say you're into cars, you're into playing the piano, maybe if you're into audio and an audiophile, then this is perfect for you. Maybe you collect vinyl records. Whatever it is, there is generally a service that you can hook into it somehow, some way. If you're doing vinyl, let's say you just want some ideas, we'll pull up the old ChatGPT and we'll say, I run a vinyl, let's say you own a vinyl store, right? If they even still exist. Vinyl, can't spell vinyl store. We sell records, right? I want to create an audio file type SaaS for people that would appreciate it. And this is how you leverage the AI tools for yourself. It's not about spending the most money. It's not about buying Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT and spending hundreds of dollars a month. You can do this for free. There are free tools. Gemini has a free tier. ChatGPT also does. You can just bounce your ideas off of it and actually start thinking about what it is that your potential customer would need and want. You want to go after people that have money, that are interested in spending money. Okay, so if you're an audiophile, right, maybe it's like you can literally do a SaaS on calibrating your turntables, or visual and AR overlays. Like if you're a DJ and you're big on overlays and you need different graphics when you go out to actually do your DJing, this is stuff that people look for. And if you can give them a platform to actually generate it with, then you've got yourself a business. And just to take a look, let's just see, okay? DJ booth visuals. Actually, let's do it in Google so we can see. DJ booth background, right? First thing up, visuals, okay? Royalty-free DJ visuals, videos, right? This is an ad. People are spending money. That means that there's money in the market. We've got a couple videos here. Let's take a look at this and look how to make your DJ booth look professional for cheap. Let's take a look at the views. I bet you it's pretty decent. 67,000 views in 4 months. Not bad, right? And then we can see here, Serato DJ Pro, free DJ visuals, okay? Now, these are super lame, but with AI, especially with like something like VO3, which is Google's thing, then it starts making sense that you want to spend money, because then we're actually creating visuals that people want to use. We actually want to consume it. We're not just making AI slop that's going to get taken down. We're actually like, oh, let's make DJ visuals with DeepMind. Same thing with, there's a tool called ImageFX. This is a Google tool. It's free. And it's a similar thing, right? Like you can use this to make garbage. You could say, you know, make me a football stadium or whatever. But you can also say, make me a DJ booth background. Vibrant and colorful. See what it comes up with. And there you go. Look at this. I mean, this is cool stuff, right? Obviously, you'd customize it. You'd make it to whatever you need it to be. But with stuff like this, you got to start thinking outside the box. Okay, if I'm going to build a SaaS, if I'm going to offer this as a service, well, does VO 3 have an API? API meaning, can I talk to it on the back end with software? And if you're building a SaaS, if you're doing software as a service, then you probably already know about that. But then we could start looking at the capabilities of it, and we could start prompting it in an intelligent way. Because think about it, especially if you're using AI, the SaaS itself is basically coming up with the prompts in the background that people don't see, and then you're putting a front end on it and you're presenting it in a way that people need it to be. So that's where the value comes in. It's not about the prompt itself necessarily, it's the package deal. It's the suite of tools. You could very easily just go on, you know, whatever these free platforms are to make video content with. Like you could use Sora and you could come up with AI sloppy, junky stuff. Or you actually come up with the process where it's something that's repetitive and we can literally go through and build an actual workflow where, you know, we've got here like a stop motion. This is what we need, you know, whatever it is. As part of the video. We can start building this out in a way that actually makes sense. So if you want to learn more about micro SaaS, how to do it, the strategy behind it, and if you want the show notes for today's episode, please smash that like button, head to mattmakesmoney.com, and I will catch you very soon. Thanks for watching.